Hello, this is Father David, here with day 21 of the Nativity fast. The meditation for today is from Saint Gregory of Nyssa and his commentary on Song of Solomon, or the Canticle of Canticles, a love poem that was written by King Solomon, but which has often been seen as an allegory for the love that God has for his creation and the love that the creatures ought to have for their creator. And so it's this love that St. Gregory comments on. He says, in order to have us understand its profoundest doctrine, the scriptures use as a symbol that which is the most violent of all our pleasurable inclinations. I mean the passion of love. Thus we are meant to understand that the soul that contemplates the inaccessible beauty of the divine nature falls in love with it in as much the same way as the body is attracted towards things that are connatural with it. But here the entire disturbance of the soul has been transformed into impassibility, the inability to be disturbed or moved. He says, all carnal passion is extinguished in us, and the soul burns with love by the soul flame of the Spirit. St. Maximus the Confessor spoke one time of a clash of loves, where our love for the things of this world can clash up against the need to love that which is eternal. And here we see St. Gregory speaking of this. You know, our question ought to be, do we love God? This is perhaps an elementary sounding question. And many of us probably already know the story of Saint Herman of Alaska, whom we commemorate in the church, not this coming week, but next week during the Nativity fast. And one of his most famous quotes was, when he was brought up onto one of the fur traders' boats, and he asked them, do you love God? And they gave the churchy answer, of course, yes, we love God. And he goes, and I, a poor sinner, I still don't love God well enough. When we love someone, we're enraptured by them. Our thoughts are constantly drawn back to them. We think day and night about how we might please them. And do we do this for God? So he said, from this day, from this hour, from this very moment, let us love God above all and do his holy will. In essence, we are called to fall in love with Christ. Now, I came from a religious tradition where that was done with a great amount of emotional fanfare. There was even a style of praise and worship music that was so indistinguishable from, pop songs that were about love that it became something of a genre that was called Jesus is my girlfriend music, or what Jesus is my boyfriend, or whatever, where it was all about your emotions. It was all about having a great emotional experience with Jesus Christ. Now, I will say that since becoming Orthodox, there have been times, moments, services of the church where I have been emotionally moved. And it's been wonderful, and I've been very grateful for it. There have been days when I've stood in front of my icon corner and wept for the joy of being in the presence of Christ. Much the same way that with my wife, there have been lovely, beautiful moments of vulnerability, of emotion, of tenderness. But a long-term marriage, really falling in love with the person, is a long-term marathon of just daily bids for love, for attention, for acceptance, for help, for being noticed. I often say that, sometimes our prayer rule ought to be gloriously normal, gloriously typical. Because if you think about every time you go out the door, every time a married couple might say goodbye to each other, it isn't some impassioned embrace with a long, hard kiss goodbye, and some breathless words of undying love and affection for that person. What is it often? Okay, I'm gonna head out. Love you. Love you too. That's it. And maybe a little peck. Goodbye. Now there's a beauty and an intimacy and a tenderness even in that. But it's something that can be done daily. And it's over time, consistent time, spent with Christ. Both those moments of intimacy, of vulnerability, of being unsure of what comes next, and of being grateful for the good things that occur. But then also those very daily moments, simply of knowing that you come to God daily, you depend on Him daily, you touch base with Him daily, you see His work in your life daily, you give gratitude for the things that you've been given. Give us this day our daily bread. Let us fall in love daily, consistently, boringly even, with Christ. And so in so doing, to have a real, firm, solid, unmovable foundation that is not dependent upon ever-changing emotions. So the Lord God bless you as you spend time with Christ today and fall more deeply in love with Him, in His care and His love for you. So may God bless you. Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.